What's up, guys?
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
4 guys on a Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase.
It could be cake.
It could be.
Who doesn't like cake?
Maybe.
Everybody likes
Dr.
cake.
Bill likes cake.
Who's
Who's
Dr. Bill?
Dr. Bill is the guy that formulated this. Because remember, have you ever been, in your life, you have lots of celebrations. What makes a celebration a celebration?
Cake.
Cake.
It's
And
a celebration.
So Dr. Bill wanted to do a whiskey inspired by cake. So what he did is he found an exclusive supply of a dessert wine called Takei. So this is Takei finished whiskey. So it's a Hungarian dessert wine, which is really unique. They use noble grapes, which dries them up, gets them all really high sugar content, low water content. They blend them with some other regular grapes, and make this beautiful, rich, sweet dessert wine in Hungary. Well, he was able to find some casks and finish some whiskey in it. Now, the whiskey here starts out just like any other Glenmorangie whiskey in their standard mix of barrels, ex-bourbon barrels. Now, we don't know how old this is, so my expectation is this didn't start with the original. He probably pulled these barrels early and then put them in the Takei barrels to finish. And so that is something that we need to kind of look into a little bit. I wasn't able to find the age, but he put them in there, got them to the right age, and created this limited edition release. So this is limited. We don't know the numbers. I've looked around anywhere from a few thousand to many thousand bottles, but we don't really know. So get it if you can find it.
Fair enough.
46 ABV, about $100.
It's 100 to 110, 120, depending in the U.S., depending on where you see it. It's not cheap. I mean, so for
But it's a limited
Glenmorangie,
edition.
That is high end for them.
And that's part of their limited edition, which
It
was a stars in there, and then
grapes.
I think it's a Midwinter's Night Dram or something like that as their other bottle. So, but it's a cool concept for them, and the design too, the marketing is really cool actually. I like
the
it.
bottles are great.
Yeah.
The bottle looks great. The boxes.
It's got a very 60s look to it.
You know,
It does.
a lot of Scotch, bottling companies out there, just their labels are kind of normal stuff. But I've seen a lot of really recent ones that are really colorful and
Yeah.
getting more
Eye-catching
marketing,
and-
eye-catching
I
stuff.
think Compass
so.
Box may be influencing.
Yeah,
the
I
market
would
a
think so
little bit.
too, maybe.
So my interest in this bottle has nothing to do with the box and everything to do with this wine finish, because Sauternes would be a similar style wine.
Yep.
And none of you guys really cared for any of the Sauternes finished whiskeys that
You
we've
did.
had. So I'm
didn't
just kind
mind
of and it's generally very subtle.
It's different.
So I'm anxious to see what this has done, because
Yeah.
these whiskeys are generally, everything from this distillery is usually lighter and more floral,
is.
and I think it might be more receptive to those casks, and you
Yes.
may get a little bit more out of it than we have on some other
Yeah,
distilleries.
so if you figure you start with a really light floral based whiskey, and then you add a sweetness layer to it, a really heavy sweetness layer
It's
to
there,
it.
that's for sure.
What?
oh, it's
Oh, it's
it's
sweet.
interesting.
It's sweet.
Man, it does
And
smell
it's thick.
almost.
It's thick.
It smells like a dessert wine.
When I first took
plums on the nose.
I took a nose and got pineapple out of it. The very first nose that I took. I don't
Wow.
get it anymore. I think it wafted off, but
It's that sweet citrus.
Yeah,
and-
so
There's
I mean,
definitely a citrus
My
note in
first
there.
nose was dessert wine. I mean, it was just that sweet,
Yeah.
Moscato. It was,
or
that
plum
kind
wine even.
of. Yeah, plum wine, blackberry wine. Those really sweet wines. So I'm not getting much on the nose now, though. Uh-oh.
all right.
Sweet. Very sweet. Oh, hello, lover pineapple at the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding. And actually, a lot lighter going down than I expected. I thought there was going to be a little bit of punch on it, and there wasn't. It
This
just
is
turned into
nice.
like a citrusy pineapple.
Yeah.
What's up with
It-
that?
It was very
Sponge cake. Like
a nice
pineapple upside down
continuity to it. Pineapple upside down cake.
cake. That's exactly what it is.
That's what
Because
they
you get
say.
that
That's what
sugary
was his
layer
target.
with
Wow,
the
is that what,
pineapple.
that what
and-
they say on the
That was
box?
his target, yeah. If you hadn't read that before, I'm surprised you came up with it. I mean, I'm amazed.
I didn't know that.
From
That
the
was his
pineapple
intention.
upside down cake his daughter made for his birthday to baking with his granny in her kitchen. Well,
There you go.
I tell you, that is a master blender that can pull that flavor just by finishing his finishing casks. because he's already got the base. He knows the base, but what it takes to turn that into a pineapple cake.
The nose is great too.
It is nice.
It does have really nice notes of a sweeter dessert wine. I mean, I can pull those out of there.
And the ABV
nice.
is actually there. I'm like you.
Yeah.
See, I'm not getting a lot of sickly sweet like you would expect. It's sweet, but it's not like cloyingly,
Right.
like, too much.
But even those dessert wines, to me, it's not quite the same thing. It's sweet like, it's syrupy, but it's not sweet like a syrup.
And the
you know what I
whiskey's
mean?
still there to back it up. So
Yeah.
what you're getting on the nose.
Yeah.
Whereas you're getting more just sweet confectioner sugar like that. The whiskey is there to back it and blend it up. It's really nice.
Man, almost a champagne note on it.
Champagne.
Yes,
On the nose.
I can totally understand that.
It's got a lot of floral notes in there. I mean, it's a really nice whiskey.
Wow, that's nice and upfront sweet.
Fun. It's different.
Yes.
I think that's what's enjoyable about it. That it's an oddball.
Wow.
Wow, yeah.
The finish is getting more oaky too.
I'm really enjoying this.
More
So,
wood.
it is not my wheelhouse at all. There's no peat. There's no rich ruby
grass note
fruits.
now, green grass.
But
note
it's
too.
nice. I mean, it's just, it's like there's good balance between sweetness and whiskey.
It's short though too. It's not a long finish. It's short.
True. I would agree with you on that.
But it's medium to short. Like you, for a second, you're gonna chew on it. You're like, oh, there's pineapple there. There's a wood finish, and then all of a sudden it's good and it's gone.
I think it's the finish, the longer finish is typical Glenmorangie. I'm thinking I'm losing any of the.
I like it even better with
Almost
water,
a-
and I loved it neat.
Really?
Almost a dry. Would you say a dry finish?
It's a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, sure.
Yeah. So this is an unusual finishing because I don't know anything about this Hungarian dessert wine. I have no idea anything about it. Is this something that would have been allowed maybe before they changed the rules?
Well,
I don't know.
Oh, I don't. That's a good
It
question.
is finished in barrels. I would say that, but yeah, there are different grades of this.
It's beautiful.
The water brought a lot of
really
vanilla.
great,
in.
yeah.
Oh
A lot
yeah,
of
totally.
vanilla's out.
Yeah. So see, that's where I'm getting like a vanilla cake now.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Now I'm getting that. I didn't get the upside down cake before.
But it's not
It's not like super potent cake though. It's a light
No,
cake.
this is a vanilla cake now.
But it's not vanilla like I think of when I think of whiskey. It's vanilla cake. It's like baked
Yes.
vanilla, so it's
Yes.
fragrant.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I haven't tasted it with water, but I know neat on the palate up front. There was a lot. It felt like this was really going to hit me on the finish, and the finish was much lighter. It went down much smoother. I was expecting to get punched in the nose with an alcohol intense kick, and it was just smooth and light going down.
Wow, the water's.
Yeah.
I'm getting a better balance with it's not as sweet, a little more malty on the.
I get a
palate
malty
now.
note now, yeah.
To me, the sweet blended better. It wasn't all up front. Now it's kind of even keeled through the whole thing, but you still get that pineapple
okay.
and vanilla notes that you were talking about.
So I think we're all talking it up really high. I would have to say that.
well,
I've got to step back a little bit.
complexity right here going. It's nice. It's got
Well,
some-
I don't know how complex it is, and that's where I'm going to
Well,
hesitate on that.
it's complex, but it's not deep complex like an Isla whiskey where
It's
you're
not bold.
you're thinking bold flavors.
It's not bold.
it's
But
delicate.
the two are not necessarily
good, too.
the same, and I think that it does have nice complexity.
Oh, that nose is
I
sweet.
do too. I think this
It's
is a
beautiful.
fun whiskey.
It's interesting because you don't get the level of complexity normally in a lighter whiskey like this, and they've the finishing aspects that they used,
Oh, wow.
like they put in a lot of
really
notes that are complementary. That flow very nicely with one another. It's just a very interesting glass.
I'm really enjoying this.
I am
So
too.
that mid palate is really nice because it has enough bread or malt to add some body, but there's a little edge of sweetness on it, and then I'm not getting a lot of oakiness or anything like that. I think it's a fairly young whiskey because there's not a lot of like wood barrel influence. But I think between the floral new make and the sweetness of the finishing, it creates a nice cake.
It's almost
I
as,
can't, I mean, I'm totally falling into their
almost
marketing.
as sweet as these coins.
Well, these coins are pretty sweet.
What number is that?
This is 79.
Number
79
Number
times.
79 is what we're using tonight. So I would
Third
say
tilt.
It helps keep that sweetness in the barrel, in the glass.
The coins are sweet too.
Yes, they are.
Somebody kick this off.
Oh, I'm almost there.
I'll go. I like going first. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So Glenmorangie, a tale of cake. It's 46% ABV, right? This is a super interesting glass. Number one, it's interesting because I don't really know anything about the wine that they used to finish this whiskey with, other than it's a dessert wine and it's noble rot grapes, so it's going to be a sweeter style wine. Everything about this glass is just super interesting and fun. I could just breathe in this whiskey for the next 20 minutes, not even take a sip. With water, without water. The water added different aspects, but nothing ever took anything away from the glass. Neat. It was a pineapple upside down cake. It had that citrusy quality to the pineapple. It had some nice baked sugars, but nothing was ever overpowering. It was all very subtle and it flowed very nicely from beginning to end. With the water, I'm with Andrew, it was more of a vanilla cake. I kind of lost a little bit of the pineapple. It made it a little bit lighter, but it let me access some of the cake notes and less of the fruity notes, I guess you would say. But on the nose, everything is wonderful. I mean, this glass is just great. What are we saying? $110?
Yeah.
Give or take.
Thank you. I need
Limited
that.
edition, so you are going to pay a little bit more for the limited edition stuff. But it's a great bottle. I would have no problem paying $110 for it. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I think it's just a great whiskey. I can't really find anything wrong with it or anything that I don't really appreciate. I think if it would have stayed in the barrel just a little bit longer and added a little more depth and complexity, it would have been a 4. But as it is, I can't blame him for pulling it out when he did, and I think it's amazing.
What's a star go for?
100.
Yeah.
Oh, stars 100.
100, 110.
Star on the shelf was typically 100.
So the same price range for
Yeah.
a limited series. Just
Right.
curious.
Yeah.
An NAS though.
Yeah.
Well, so was
What
a
you
star.
get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got everything you said, and I'm going to talk about, instead of talking about the flavors and the nose, because I think he hit it. He got that. I completely agree with it. What I liked about it was the funness of this glass. In other words, it changes. All the different stuff I'm getting in there, right? And it changes with water to neat. The neat palate was a lot more flavor. As I was getting ready to swallow that first sip, I was ready to really be hit with a strong finish, because I was like, oh man, there's a lot of flavor in there. And then it just went down so soft and left me with a smile, like, wow, what did I just have? And every time I go in there, it's a little bit different. I get a little. There's another baking spice that I can't get in there right now. But the fact that it changed with water and made it sweet, and that vanilla came out, I got that oak influence. To me, it's just a fun glass to experiment with. If you want a glass that's a little bit different than your typical malty or sherry bomb, or this is going to give it to you. This is really a good glass. It's fun. $100, $110. I'm all for it. I'm with Sean on a 3.5. We're going to nail this. This bottle's not going to last long in this bar. I promise you that. I don't think you can go wrong. I highly recommend it. If you can get your hands on one when it comes around, you should get one.
Dude,
This is going to be interesting.
This is going to be interesting. So this is not my wheelhouse, but I really enjoy this bottle. The flavor is just fun. It's light. It's not a potent whiskey. It's something I don't think you should put water on it, because I'm afraid it dilutes it down too much, because I think the richness is just about right as it comes out of the bottle. You add the water, you get a little more the vanilla cake, which was nice, but when I added some more whiskey to it, I think it's better neat. $100. It's not a cheap bottle. I squeak a lot, so that is it's a little high. But this one I think is worth it, because if you like light, fresh whiskeys, this is for you. This is not your heavy duty whiskeys, but it's got a unique complexity in that light category, and it's just not just cotton candy. Like some of them, you get. It's a light, sweet whiskey. It's cotton candy. This is more to it than that by far. I think they did a great job with a barrel. I don't know how you could do a much better barreling with this, because I'm afraid if you left it in the whiskey barrels, the bourbon barrels longer, it would overpower the sweetness of the finishing barrels. So I'm not going to give it a 3.5. I don't know if it's that good for me personally. It's definitely a 3.0 for sure. It's worth it. It's expensive, but if you are willing to invest in it, you'll be happy with it.
Keep talking for a second.
Keep talking. He wants to
All right.
pour himself a
So
little
he's
more.
gonna pour a little
We've all
more.
gone in for a second.
And
I had a thought for a second.
So that's the difference I think between these guys is that vanilla cake with the water. It actually added a unique level that the other, like most of those other super sweet ones don't have. It did change with that. I think I like the richness of the neat, though, better than that cake.
Question for you guys. I know you guys poured some more. Are you still getting the same cake and pineapple stuff that after it's sat for a while?
I don't get the when I went back now on the neat, I don't get the pineapple.
I've never had the pineapple.
I get vanilla more than anything. One thing that I will say though is I wish I knew more about that grape, that wine, because in previous reviews that we've done with a specific wine finishing, we've at least experimented. You know kind of what to expect. So I don't. Is this it or not?
I mean,
it's
I'm
really
basing
cool.
it off of dessert wines
Sweetness.
that
Well,
are produced in the same way.
Right.
Yeah. So I did a little work on the Tokay whiskey, or Tokay, I think is how it's pronounced. They can get some incredibly high levels of sugar in those whiskeys, depending on how much of the
Wines.
noble rot. I'm sorry, in the wine.
Right.
Depending on how much of the noble rot they add, because the noble rot essentially wilts the grape, and so all that sugar that was in the grape, all the water disappears, and so now it's just super sugar-rich grape, and then you mash it, and you either use like 25% noble rot, 75% regular, or you vary those depending on the grade of whiskey you're doing, or the grade of wine you're doing. So
I get it neat.
and they don't tell anything about what grade of wine they use.
So when we first started, I was with all you guys, especially as you start going through. I'm like, yep, he's on it. Yep, he's got it right. We all talked about the sweetness, the pineapple, the cake. I didn't get the cake as much as you guys. I thought it was more of a delicate cake, like the pineapple, especially neat right up front. But as you came back around me, I started getting like, it's not as sweet as I thought it was. I still like it. I still appreciate it. But what I really like about it is you get the Glenmorangie foundation in there now.
That's the key.
You're getting Glenmorangie.
I'm getting Glenmorangie, which was hiding behind the sweetness. So it's kind of a twofer. If you first pour it neat and drink it, you're going to get more sweetness than anything else. If you add some water to it, I think it actually balanced the sweetness more. It was all up front at first with the neat.
I agree.
And it balanced it more, and more of the pineapple came out a little bit, but it kind of dulled off. And as it sat here, it really kind of mellowed down the sweetness, and guess what came up? It was that Glenmorangie. The Glenmorangie that I'm used to having in the whiskey was right there as a foundation, which is kind of nice. It's like, you know what? So I'm going to add a little bit more. That's why I asked you to keep talking. And it's sweet again. So you can almost play with it.
Yeah.
I kind of like that factor.
See what you come up with.
See what you come up with. I appreciate it. For $100, it is a little pricey, but it's kind of what you're going to get out of the limited editions. I'm struggling between a 3 and 3.5 as well. I really appreciate what I'm getting out of this. I think, did you go 3 as well?
I did 3.
I'm going to go 3. I think it's very good. I wish the sweetness would stay a little longer. I think it went away too quick for me.
The nose neat is so good.
Yeah.
But I think the palate is better with a little bit of water.
So 3 for me.
Yeah.
There you go.
I honestly gotta say I'm not really thrilled with the name for a whiskey. I don't like that for the name of a whiskey, but I'm pretty impressed with the juice that's in it. So
That's all that matters.
I like the fact that something we're proud of is going off memories and what it reminds you. There's no wrong answers when you
That's
try
true.
whiskey.
That's true.
And that's what they're kind of instilling here, too.
Yes.
right. Good
All
job.
We'll take it, man.
So we'll start with you again?
So 3.5.
3.5.
3.
3 and 3.
3.25. it is.
3.25.
There it
Easy
is.
enough. Mr. Math.
Tail cake. See you
Tail
Thursday.
cake.
Cheers, guys.
Check us on Thursday nights.